In this video, we will be going to see what are the Shadcn Studio components. Mostly, Shadcn Studio provides open source components for your project requirements. So Shadcn Studio includes the different variations of components with different patterns and stylings which can be ready to use in your project via copying and pasting just a code or by using the CLI. So as you can see, Shadcn Studio component page has a different list of components like accordions, avatars, buttons, checkbox, and many more. And you can use those components, different variants or patterns easily in your existing Shadcn UI project. And the most beautiful thing of these components are totally free and under the MIT license. So now let's understand how to use Shadcn Studio components in your existing project. So in order to use Shadcn Studio component, you should have a Shadcn UI project set up in your local machine. And in that, we can use Shadcn Studio components with 4 different methods. So the first method is to use with the copy code. So you can copy the component code directly from the Shadcn Studio website and paste it in your existing project in order to use your preferred component. So let's start with this. So I have opened button component page. So from here you can see that we have a 3 option: view code, open in V0 and copy prompt. So let's use view code option. So from here you can see that there is an option of manual code which you can paste in your existing Shadcn Studio project. So let's copy this code and open my existing Shadcn UI project and create a new file as a button14.tsx and paste this button code in this file. Now let's import button download demo component in my component example page. So I have the button component example page where I am going to import button download demo. Now let's use this button component in our page. So I have imported the button component. So I have imported the download demo button component and use it in one of my page. So let's open the component page to check how it looks. So I have opened the component page and you can see that the download component is visible here. So similarly, you can install any of these components variant in your project by copying and pasting just code. Please note that some of the animated components, just like heartbeat or stitches button, for which you may need to set up some styles or animations. Like for ripple button, you need to create a ripple button component as well as the button component also. Okay, now the another best way of using the component is to use Shadcn CLI. This is the one of the best and easiest way to use Shadcn Studio components in your existing project. By using Shadcn UI CLI, you can install any component in your project. So let's do that. I would like to use a date picker component 13 in my existing Shadcn UI project. So over here you can see the CLI command for different package manager like pnpm, npm, yarn and burn. Apart from that, you can also use the latest Shadcn UI CLI v3 as well as the legacy CLI v2. So let's install this component using Shadcn CLI v3. Before using the Shadcn CLI, make sure that you have set up the namespace in your existing Shadcn project. So let's open the existing Shadcn project and check the component.json file where we have the SS component namespace defined over here. If it is not defined, then you will not be able to install the components using Shadcn CLI v3. So now let's install the component using CLI command. So once I will run this command, you will see that we will have one date picker folder where our date picker 13 example is created using CLI command. So now let's use it in our component page. So from the component example page, I will import date and table with column filter demo. So from the component example, let's import our component chart filter demo, which is we have installed just, and add it in our project. Now let's run our project and review it. So you can see that the component which we have installed is visible over here. So it's very easy, right? Similarly, you can install any of the available component from Shadcn Studio component list using the CLI command. So now let's install one component using Shadcn CLI v2. Okay, so let's install input OTP example 9 using the CLI v2 legacy CLI command. So let's copy this URL. So let's copy this CLI and run it in our existing project. So once I will run this CLI command, you can see that input OTP component has been installed in our existing project. Let's import this component in our component example page to test it. So I am removing the older one and importing the new component which we have just installed using Shadcn CLI v2. Okay, now let's run the project and review the component. So you can see that we have just installed another component using the legacy Shadcn UI CLI. Isn't it easy? Now the third option is to use component using copy prompt functionality, by using which you can use Shadcn Studio component in your existing Shadcn UI project. So as you can see in this image, by clicking this vibe coding button, you will get the prompt which you can use in your existing project. So let's try it. So now let's use table 2 example in our existing project. So once you click on this copy prompt button, the prompt for this component has been copied to your clipboard. Now you can use this prompt in your project. So to check the prompt, I have just pasted this prompt in new file, which includes the whole code of the component as well as the instruction, as you can see over here. So let's use the GitHub Copilot in VS Code to create this component. So I have pasted this prompt in VS Code. So let's wait and check. So as you can see here, this prompt has created a table folder which includes the table 2 component example. Now let's use this component in our project. So now use this table component in our component example route. So let's import the table border demo component and use it in our project. Now let's review the component demo. So as you can see this, the component table 2 is appearing in our page. So similarly, you can use any other Shadcn Studio component using copy prompt features. Another most important benefit of this copy prompt feature is that you can use the component in any other vibe coding tool like Lovable, Bolt, and more. Another way to use Shadcn Studio component is to use V0, and which is one of my favorite. So V0 integration allows you to seamlessly import Shadcn Studio components directly into your V0 platform for rapid prototyping and development. So hover over the Shadcn Studio component which you would like to use or open in V0 and click on the V0 button to open the component on V0 platform. By using V0, you can review the component instantly as well as you can modify and make the design change with the help of V0 and AI powered. On click of V0 button on any component, it will automatically open in V0 with all necessary code, components and styling pre-configured. This features enables you to quickly iterate, customize and deploy your component within V0's AI-powered development environment. So let's open Accordion 7 component example with Open in V0 feature. So when I click on this button, it will open the V0 project, create exactly similar component in V0. So as you can see that our Accordion example 7 is here, and now you can tweak it or customize it with few prompts on the cloud with the help of AI. So now let's summarize this video. In this video, you have learned how to use Shadcn Studio component in your existing project. So in this video, we have covered how to use Shadcn Studio component using copy code features. Also, we have learned how to use Shadcn CLI to install the components. Apart from that, we have learned copy prompt functionality to vibe code Shadcn Studio components. And in last, we have learned how to use Shadcn Studio component in V0. For more details on copy prompt, you can refer Shadcn Studio copy prompt documentation from the documentation, as well as you can refer the Open in V0 documentation also for the more details on V0.